my Cancer crabs. So please make sure to get the book at Amazon or BarnesandNoble.com. The links will be in the description box below as usual. If you'd like to contact me for personal reading, my email address as well as the prices are in the description box below as usual. So so I'm also continuing to do, like I said, the 2 videos that give me the most views. Overall activity, I will do those videos. The first 2 videos that does that, right? Most views, likes, right? Comments. I will most definitely go ahead and kind of I will do those 2 videos first. It's Virgo and Cancer crab. So I just did Virgo. Now y'all get yours. That way it stays random. So let's get into it for the Cancers. Alright, so the cards that I come up with are the 8 of Pentacles, 7 of Wands, 6 of Swords, wow, interesting, 2 of Pentacles, Hierophant, the Sun, Page of Cups, the Hangman, 3 of Pentacles, Chariot. Interesting reading so far. 4 of Pentacles, King of Rods, 10 of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Wheel of Fortune. So first and foremost, the Wheel of Fortune and the Chariot are both Cancer crab cards. Okay, so you showed up in your reading twice, both major arcana. Okay, and there's a certain amount of water in these readings anyway. So what I'm saying here is the 8 of Pentacles, 7 rods, 6 of swords. The Cancers aren't necessarily with anybody. I just see the Cancer crabs just kind of doing them, working on the things that they actually need to work on that they are lacking, right? So if it's business, if it's personal health, whatever it is that you Cancer crabs have got going on, you Cancers are just going to go ahead and work on that, right? You're just going to try to see if you can improve that, right? Having an industrious type of mindset right now, potentially even getting out of a relationship, but a lot of the Cancers not necessarily wanting to even concentrate too long on a relationship that you got yourselves out of. The 2 of Pentacles and the Hierophant. The 2 of Pentacles and the Hierophant, it represents like this is kind of complicated because it's like the Cancers is thinking about if you want to give yourself a pat on the back for this kind of relationship where a lot of you Cancers could have went in on them and did the Cancerian thing, right? Kind of, you know what I mean? Been bottom feeding, you know, kind of start fights, pick fights, stuff like this, you know, mess with them and stuff like that. But the 2 of Pentacles and the High Priestess is about kind of going back and forth with yourself about, you know, internally about how could this person do that, right? And check out the water in the background, right? You see how this person is kind of doing that by the shoreline. And the 6 of Swords, this person is in a boat, you know what I mean, on the water doing that stuff. So, I mean, this is, so for you Cancers, this is about like, you know, kind of those worries in the back of your mind, right? The back of your head, and how you Cancer crabs are like, I'm going to continue to try to take this type of way out as much as I possibly can, you know, but you're not necessarily promising that you're not going to be, you're not going to talk your smack. It's just more so about, how do I say, it's more so about like, you know what I mean, trying to take it day by day, and the more days that pass by and the more you don't wallow on that memory, is the more things continue to get easier for you, right? Your body stops using that data as memory, and then you eventually forget about them and you forget their name. So the Sun card, right? The Sun card, the Page of Cups, this right, and the Hanged Man represents how a lot of you Cancer crabs, you're doing all right. You know what I mean? You're doing fine. For a person that may have just gotten themselves out of a relationship, Not a particularly terrible breakup, but obviously, who wants to, you know, realistically, who wants to go through a breakup with someone that they say that they like, or they actually like, right, or both. Um, but for all intents and purposes, you Cancer crabs are doing a good job. The Page of Cups represents careful though, right? This is a Mercury retrograde. Careful for being overworked, right? Careful being overworked, throwing yourselves into work a little bit too much, trying to forget about a relationship, trying to rush the process of forgetting about this type of thing, forgetting about this type of person. I mean, it even happens with me too. There's been many times where personally, people act like weirdos, trying to get to know them. They act like weirdos. I cut communication with them. I don't hear from them. And literally, I will start to forget their name. People would be like, "Hey, do you remember such and such?" And I'm like, "Who?" And I'm not saying this to be like sassy or zesty or any of that type of stuff and be manipulative. I literally can't remember their name because my body is not using the data. It's not using the memory anymore. So it's kind of like put into the trash bin or the miscellaneous files, you know what I mean, in my mind. And that's another thing too, why it is that people, but more so specifically because we're talking about Cancer crabs, that you Cancers have to be very careful about how you interact with people, is because it's the situation where that's a part of the dating scene too, how goofy the dating scene is. The dating scene is very goofy because a lot of the times people want to get close enough to you to feed you all this data about them, right? Their birthday, their favorite color and all this other type of crap, so that when the two of y'all start being incompatible and y'all not really seeing eye to eye, now this person leaves your life and you're like, why do you have all the then you Cancer crabs are thinking, why do you have all these goofy statistics and you know what I'm saying, and all this data about this person and stuff, and it just turns out to be goofy because if why are you not in a relationship if with a person on a long-term level if they're going to tell you all of that, and the Hangman is just a reminder of we are in a Mercury retrograde. But even if we wasn't in a Mercury retrograde, you Cancer crabs still need to pace yourselves. Diving yourself into this work is going to make you're going to run yourself dry physically and also run yourself dry mentally too, because you're going to be burning the candles at both ends, staying up potentially, trying to dive yourself into this work, trying to be too active, right? Being overly active. And that's going to land you in some serious situation, because the Three of Pentacles now and the Chariot now represents this being a situation for y'all where you need to learn to let go of this situation. The Chariot is continue to move forward. This person is not a part of your life anymore. And the Three of Pentacles is about, if you want to hang out with your friends, you can always go ahead and do that. Make time for yourself. Create time for yourself to where you're not just in work, you're actually having like how you have a balanced diet. You got to get, well balanced diet, fruits, vegetables, stuff like this. It's the same concept, and the Chariot card represents Cancer crabs, and it represents how a lot of you Cancers need to remember who exactly you are and why it's so important for you to not just observe others but observe yourself as well. Cancer is also the zodiac sign of self-nourishment, so also take the time to nourish what's going on with yourself. That's why Taurus is exalted in the moon, because Taurus represents nourishment with nutrition, and Cancer represents nutrition as well, but Cancer represents emotional nourishment, right? And kind of figuring out what do you need to get you to where you're a more well-rounded person. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what the Chariot represents, considering that it's Cancer crabs. You need to be more nourishing of your own selves and figure out what exactly about you that you really need. The Four of Pentacles, King of Rods, and the Ten of Pentacles represents how a lot of you, it represents how a lot of you Cancer crabs, you can, what it's saying is that you can always meet someone new, right? As long as you're well, you can always meet someone new as long as you're still kicking. So don't worry about if you're going to meet someone new. You understand what I'm saying? It's just a matter of, again, what we're on right now in the dating arena is just idiocracy. I'm telling the Cancer crabs the truth. What we on right now is idiocracy, and you're gonna have a lot of that. You know, you're gonna have a lot of idiocracy, to be 100 with y'all. You know, people are just playing dumb, but then complaining about it later. So you just kind of have to understand that when you're trying to do the right thing and other people are kind of continuing to play dumb, be okay with it. You know, a certain sense of you have to be okay with it. The Knight of Pentacles, right? So it doesn't drive you crazy. The Knight of Pentacles and the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune also represents the Cancer crabs, and the Wheel of Fortune is up underneath the Chariot. And they both represent Cancer crabs. So the Knight of Pentacles is about eventually you will move on from this person. But you have to take care of your health, right? Not just your mental health, your physical health as well. Take a couple of breaks, right? If you're working overtime, you're working on days where you know what I mean, where you should be off, please take your off days. Everybody needs a break. Even marathon runners can't run forever. You understand what I'm saying? So the thing is that the Wheel of Fortune represents this being a situation for you where, you know, take the time to really figure out where exactly from here you want to go. For real. You know, let's clarify the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune is a very important card in this reading, even though it's the last card that came out for this reading, you know. And I'll explain to you why. The Seven of Swords, the Six of Cups, right. The Knight of Cups, right. The Seven of Swords is the Seven of Swords, Six of Cups, right. This person is coming back to you. You know what I mean? But it's not going to be very sincere because of the Seven of Swords, even though they're coming back. But that's my point, the Knight of Cups. Why the Wheel of Fortune is so important is because now is the time. Remember what it is that I said about the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune isn't just fate, quote unquote, and stuff like this. Fate is created from the choices you pick. Everyone chooses to do. Fate is just the end result of something that everyone puts in motion. So can you change your fate? Of course you can. But here's the situation though. The Wheel of Fortune is one of the most important cards in this reading because the Wheel of Fortune doesn't just represent luck and stuff like this or fate. It also represents the steering wheel of a car, an automobile, but in olden times, right? Because these cars were made symbolically, those older times, it's also a ship, which means that you're steering your way through the waters, right? What exactly is going on with you in your particular situation? So it's also about finding value in now this new amount of time that you have. What do you want to do? And it's very important that you understand this because, you know, find something that you really enjoy. Me, myself, come to find out, you know, this computer joint is very boring to me to a certain extent now. You know, YouTube is kind of boring, and I'm not taking a shot at YouTube. It's just that it's kind of saturated with kind of some of the same stuff. And I find myself scrolling through YouTube hours and hours and hours, really trying to find something that stimulates me, right? So what I'm saying to you, Cancers, is that's exactly what it is that you have to do. You have to find something that really works for you. For me, right now, what I seem to be doing is making videos, right, for y'all. Learning something right after I'm done uploading and doing all this and that and putting in, right, and editing these videos. Then I'm, right, learning something, right, resting for a couple of minutes, right, about an hour or so, working out or doing some cardio. And if I don't want to work out, do some cardio, just resting. But either way it goes, really doing things that really impact my life in a way where through the matters of the heart and through the matters of the mind, it really is important to me, and I'm finding value out of those things. And the Wheel of Fortune, I'm saying all that to say, I'm making a similarity with you. I suggest you Cancer crabs do the same thing. That right now is the time where you have to really start upgrading the quality of your life. Learn to rest. You know, let's clarify the Ten of Pentacles. You have the Queen of Cups, the Wheel of Fortune, the Seven of Pentacles. Again, find something that you legitimately want to do. Find something that occupies your time. Even sleeping and resting will help you occupy your time. Right? DNA changes, and you can train yourself into a routine just by doing the routine before you go to sleep and then go to sleep, whether it's a nap or the big sleep, right, at night when when you wake up in the morning, stuff like this. Really doing things to really create that foundation and new value out of life. The Queen of Cups, the Queen of Cups, more people will come to you in the future. Right? Your friends understand the disposition that you're going through. Your friends understand it. Right? The Seven of Pentacles. Right? Even the people who tried to play you in the past, who's even coming back, understands that. But it doesn't mean that you should really accept them back. So that's pretty much it. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe. Peace.